We followed Nick to St. Croix where we stayed with his friend's mom Joyce, who is a beautiful lady, and we got to have Easter with her, which was amazing.
She just like took us into her home like her own children and was very excited to have us there, and we were very excited to be there.
I wasn't sure what Easter was going to look like on the boat, so I was excited that we were on land and with Joyce, and she was just as excited to paint Easter eggs as we were.
I think I did it once. I'll never do this again. How about like this thing? Is this too big? Easter got really intense when we decided to have a egg dyeing competition and then see who could make the best egg.
I decided to theme mine with an animal print theme, so I did some tiger striping. We pulled out all the stops on these eggs and they looked incredible.
I love a good competition and I love to get into art, so obviously I brought my egg game.
Your egg game.
My egg game.
And it was really nice to just like be creative and have 40 eggs that needed painting.
It was so fun to feel like kids again and get a taste of normal life in the middle of this crazy trip that we're on.
That's cool. That was really cool. There's like an alien.
If you missed it, we did a competition on our Instagram to see who had the best Easter egg, and I won! Which I was very excited about.
We spent like 10 hours doing eggs. I think we had to boil eggs twice. We might have had 24 hard-boiled eggs, which we then later made devil's eggs with, which all ended up being like green and blue, which was hilarious because all the dye was leaching in.
She had planned to cook a leg of lamb for us. So that was a real treat.
This is a leg of lamb that Joyce mixed up for us. She injected it with some cloves of garlic and what else? Salt and pepper.
Cucumber salad. There's 2 butters, so don't worry, we don't have to pass the butter too far. May someone, when you're done there, Nick, may you please pass the asparagus. After Easter weekend, Joyce was kind enough to kind of take us out on the island and give us a driving tour and took us to what is the easternmost point of the United States.
And each bridge is different.
On a tour of the island.
Led by Joyce.
It was very cool. The views were absolutely stunning. You could see like all the nice blue water around and the breaks, and like it was just like a really nice treat to like kind of get out of the house and see the island as well, which was nice.
There's this sundial that is on the easternmost point where it shows the like true north and the azimuth north, and so we were there for noon to see it line up perfectly.
And just a full round view of the ocean. It was really neat. Very windy.
We are on St. Croix and we are currently at the easternmost part of the United States beside a sundial. And in a couple days when the wind calms down, we will sail right through these blue waters.
Right. Right now it's gusting 26 knots overnight for a few days, so we're just gonna hunker down here.
We're basically stuck in paradise once again.
It's funny how that happens.
Lucky us. To my one and only love, to my forever, you are with me everywhere I go, and everywhere I go is nothing without you. Lauren, you are my forever. HK.
Love does exist in St. Croix.
So sweet.
We were really excited to go scuba diving in St. Croix, and we got to take Sarah downstairs for the first time. I call scuba diving going downstairs, but anyways.
I got the opportunity to go scuba diving for the first time ever, which was amazing. And I think that if I could, I would spend all my life underneath the water as a fish.
We are gonna go scuba diving!
Sarah's angry because she's in a wetsuit.
I hate wetsuits.
It was awesome. We like rented gear from the dive place and did this like beach walkout. Pretty neat getting in and out of the water because the waves were like crashing on you and you have all this dive gear and we're like flopping about. But once we were in the water, it was a great time. We saw a shark and a bunch of fish and we accidentally went down to 85 feet. My dive instructors, if you're watching this, I'm very sorry. But we did have a dive computer and I was Miss Safety. And we all survived, except for my GoPro. My GoPro did not survive. Do not take your GoPro to 85 feet. Sad day. Okay, once we've all done that, then we're gonna take the regular out of our mouth, drop it, lift it up, and put it back into our mouth and clear it.
Like you could just be down there and just sit there and watch everything happen around you. It was absolutely incredible. Didn't even feel the 85 feet we went to, so that was a good thing. It was a super cool experience and we got to see a shark and a sea turtle and like all this insane colored coral and stuff that you don't really see kind of closer to the surface, so that was awesome.
That was one of the coolest things I've ever seen.
So the boom bang came off on our sail up to St. Croix here, and we realized these holes are corroded, so we gotta move the boom bang now and tap new holes. We've been here for a few days now, and we need to fix this boom bang to sail to Antigua. We definitely need a boom bang for race week. So
I'm
a kicker.
Removing this piece from the boom bank so that we can hold it up to the mast and measure it without having to put this one before. Okay, turn it off.
That there looks mighty fine. Very not viscous.
Okay, now Joyce is here kind enough to help us with this project, teaching us the ways.
So do you only put Loctite on screws that go into screws? Or metal? Screws that go into metal?
Do you think the boom bang's gonna work?
I think absolutely it's gonna work. We screwed it back in and tightened her all up, and there's lots of space there for pulling and joisting, and it looks like a brand new thing.
Ellie is preparing the boat. She's cleaned the kitchen and done some stuff.
It's a boat-sized broom.
We don't have a vacuum cleaner on our boat, so we have to do that, which is also why we're not allowed to brush our hair inside the boat.
A little bit.
My pants are off!
Speed of the essence, because as we lose our spots, it's gonna be harder to get.
They're totally my glass. I was gonna get in and I realized I didn't have any shorts on. And then I was taking my shorts off and he already jumped in the water and I was tangled inside my chili hat. I feel really bad. He's already mad at me for doing all the boat work.
You get him?
You're an inch from the bottom. You're still sinking.
Sarah's never driven a dinghy before.
Sarah has her pants half down.
Her pants are down. A good end to any boat work.
I just drove the dinghy around in circles without killing anyone and got it back to the boat without ever having driven a dinghy before.
Yeah, Sarah'd never driven one before.
You did a great job. Fantastic.
Thank you, thank you.
At the end of the week, Nick agreed to take us and Joyce out for a sail. It was a really nice thing to do, I think, for Joyce because she used to sail a lot with her husband, her late husband, and I think she really, really enjoyed that, and we really, really enjoyed getting to share that experience with her. They used to always sail kind of around St. Croix, and she actually lived on a sailboat for 2 years before they bought their house in St. Croix, which is pretty cool.
Joyce, how do you feel being on a boat? Feels fantastic.
Just wait till they get the sails up.
It was gorgeous outside, beautiful sailing, and it made us all so happy to see that smile on her face. Good job!
It was also good for us because we got to fly spinnaker for the first time, which we're gonna have to learn if we're racing in Antigua. So that was a really nice sail. It was nice and smooth, and it was kind of a treat having Joyce on the boat there with us.
Let's check our heading and see, and then I'll show you how we can
Staying with Joyce was amazing, and we are so grateful to her for welcoming us into her home as she did. It was amazing, and we are super grateful and appreciative of everything Joyce did for us. See you next week!
Next week we sailed to Antigua. What was supposed to be a 2-day sail turned into something else.
That took us way longer than we thought it was going to be. Show me how it's done.
Okay, you gotta shake it.
She put it in my Dr. Pepper. Let me give it a try.
How big is your mouth, Sarah?
Oh.
You were about to vomit.